Hi, I'm Drew, and my project is called Compass. It is an adaptable leather token designed to serve as a personal touchpoint for the rural activist to navigate the boundary between work and life throughout their day. I'll start by discussing two foundational concepts that emerged in my initial research. The first is work life balance. The crucial idea here is that defining the boundary between work and life is something each of us must do. The more we struggle or neglect to do this, the more conflict and stress we tend to experience in this realm. For the field organizer, defining this boundary comes with unique challenges. The chart below illustrates how daily responsibilities might make it difficult to separate work and life. Things like restocking camping supplies on the way to a community event, setting up a mobile office in a park, or dropping off a ballot late in the evening pull the activist from one state to the other, often blurring the line between them. This pattern of being pulled back and forth can lead to a perceived lack of agency, increased stress, and an inability to step back from work and feel successful in what has been accomplished. This led me to look for cases of successful navigation of the work life boundary. I found that clear, intentional action, personal meaning, and physical connection were markers of success across the board. For instance, firefighter Tyler Prater makes a point to start each of his 24-hour shifts with a cup of coffee in the common area. This activity marks the transition between work and life and helps him cross this boundary intentionally. Instead of being pulled by the demands of his job, he adds personal meaning to the moments between tasks and uses them to move from one state into another, thereby navigating and defining a boundary on his own terms. For the rural activist, strategies for clear navigation can complement existing work-life balance practices. They also serve as an accessible starting point for improving satisfaction with the job and cultivating a sense of control over the demands of their occupation. These, then, are our foundational ideas. Work-life balance is an important consideration for the user, and conscious boundary navigation is a valid strategy for managing this balance. The opportunity here is for a product that facilitates conscious boundary crossing within the rural activist's daily routine. This is the Compass. It's designed to both prompt a person to consider the state of their work-life balance every time they use it, and enable them to create personalized, active ways to structure this relationship. The product is made from burnished, waxed leather, a spring-loaded metal clasp, and a braided leather cord. These materials are smooth to the touch, durable, and wear in a way that reflects shared experience and increases personal connection. The inspiration here came from trusty items like a pair of worn leather boots or an old guitar case. The loop at the top allows the user to attach it to whatever personal possession or location feels right. This could be a water bottle, a belt, a rearview mirror, even a binder. Then at the center is the metal switch, which can hold two different positions, open and closed. The closed position represents an internal, balanced presence. The way the top arm nests in the slightly larger base gives a feeling of security and containment. Switching into the open mode, the compass takes on a much more active feel. 4 points reach out in the cardinal directions, and the intersection suggests both a converging of paths and a release of stored energy. Here's an example of how someone can use the product to consciously leave work distractions behind once she arrives at a park to meet a friend. In terms of building this experience into a rural activist's daily life, studies show that repetition, context, and personal goals are key ingredients in habit formation. With this in mind, I wanted to leverage the existing repetition and context within the user's routine to fold a new habit seamlessly into old ones. As seen earlier, the loop creates many different opportunities for mounting, while the small size doesn't get in the way. In addition to physical integration, the action of switching the modes takes almost no time at all, so using it doesn't detract from time spent on the job or at play. The true impact is felt on a personal level, when the user forms a habit of making this switch and identifying moments for themselves to consciously move between work and life. To clarify how a rural activist could use this product to navigate successfully, here's a hypothetical example of a Boulder field organizer who has the compass mounted to her keychain. First, she wakes up and watches the sunrise at the scenic Byway 12 campsite. Once she packs up her gear and hops in the car, she switches the compass to the open position. Similar to the firefighter from earlier, this intentional action establishes a clear boundary between her morning routine and first set of tasks. After meeting with other organizers and registering voters door to door, she checks her phone, sees that she is set to meet with a local political candidate over lunch, and shifts the compass to closed as she runs to a market to grab groceries for her cooler and 2 salads. She loads her car and shifts the compass to mark her return to work before driving to meet the candidate. Once she finishes the meeting, she decides to take a quick hike before prepping for an evening event. She fills up her water and shifts the compass back to closed. This helps her get her mind off of the scheduling challenges of local politics and take some time for herself. While on the hike, she runs into a local voter who starts peppering her with questions. She quickly reaches into her pocket and activates the compass while answering. This helps her maintain separation between work and life, even when things start to get blurry. The rest of the day continues in a similar vein, with the activist habitually switching the compass to mark intentional boundary crossing. It's important to keep in mind, though, that this is just one case of how someone could integrate the product into their day. As rural activists, you are independent, thoughtful people, and I wanted to invite you to connect with the compass on your own terms. Just like political activism, structuring work-life balance is an ever-changing process that requires a personal touch. For example, one of my initial testers used a prototype as a way to help her set an intent when watching the evening news. This conscious decision has enabled her to process current events from a contemplative state of mind, rather than an anxious one. Overall, the experience is designed for the user to shape because you have the power to make this product work. Looking forward, I'm excited to leave things in your hands and see where they go. I want the compass to succeed in crucial moments. Does the switch still rotate if it's caked in mud? Will you quickly flip it when a crisis breaks out? How will it look after a year on the road? I would love to hear how you think the product can work best for you, answer any questions that you have for me, and get your perspective. Thanks.